Hello and welcome back to the Oakland County Championships for Round 2 Back 9 coverage here at Lions Den. I am Zach and I'm joined here with Matt Jackson as the commentator. How you doing, Matt?
I'm doing extremely well and I'm excited to see these final 9 holes break out.
For sure. We have ourselves a race going on between our card members here. Thanks again to the WOW Series for holding on such a fantastic event. This is a spectacular end of the year event for us to come out and record. Lots of hot scores from the front 9, lots of green here. That's what the kind of course is here, but they're looking to kind of carry that over in the back 9. A little work from John there trying to catch up, but Patrick, Noah, Nate, really everyone is in the hunt here trying to convert here on the back 9, try to steal this championship from Noah, who currently has the lead, into hole 10 now, par 4, 528 feet. What are we doing here, Matt?
This is a very common par 4 out here at the Lions Den. Again, it's 528 feet. The drive is crucial to get you in a good attacking position. You're going to see the guardian trees on the left side of the pin, but it's going to be 2 basic hyzers to get you into a good putt to save your birdie or get your birdie.
Yeah, righty hyzers are favored here because you have the ability to, you just use that hyzer strat to get there. The only thing you could mess up on is if you happen to accidentally wind bounce this up or throw it too high and hit into the telephone poles.
Definitely, or throw it too low. There's a little mound probably 100 feet off the pin. You'll see it. If you throw it too low, you can unfortunately spike to the side of that, but most of the athletes are going to get high enough.
Yeah, you could be Noah and just crush this way out there.
And just not kind of have zero stress on your next shot.
Holy smokes.
A lot of the par 4s here at the Lions Den are on the shorter side.
Yep.
I've said that in the front 9, but it allows you to pick up that birdie when you need it, but again, it still demands 2 good shots.
Yeah, this is just one of those par 4s that doesn't have OB on it either. There is OB technically on the parking lot, but that's so far right and deep that it would have to be a horrific shank for you to kind of even attempt to get in that direction.
Do you think for future references towards the TD, like
I would love
tighter OBs?
I would love this hole if the rough, which you can kind of see, so you can see from Nate here, there's like a rough distinguished. If that was the OB line, I would love it. It would be extremely difficult, but it would still be fair.
And more stroke separations because at 528 feet, these MPO athletes are throwing at least 400 off the tee, which is a 128-foot approach shot. To most athletes at this point, 128 feet is routine.
Yeah, and like I said, there's no hate here. Like, this is a really well-run tournament. Everything here is spectacular. Nate here is in the dead center of the fairway. Good drive from him. A little nose up, but he's still, easy look here for his 3. But, I mean, if you really were trying to look to push this event kind of a little further and difficulty and try to, score separate, like you said, I would add that OB. Mm-hmm. And John...
Ripping on something new.
I know, I was going to say, it wasn't a destroyer.
It looked green, and it looked almost castoplast. I'm not sure.
It's just the strangest thing. We were kind of chuckling with him the whole round because he had thrown it on every hole. And we just you just got to throw your destroyer off the tee at every hole, and he didn't throw it off the tee. He would throw it...
But you can see most of these guys are going to go with an overstable approach disc, maybe even a putter.
Yep.
It's a routine birdie if you get off the tee box. And at this tournament, I would love to see a little bit more challenge towards the MPO field, whether it's OB or changing par. Again, doesn't change how many times these guys are throwing it, but
right. It's just kind of difficult too to make that decision. So one tournament that we cover every year is the Gilligan's Island tournament, which has lots of OB, but it does a lot more damage to ratings. So that could be part of that consideration too, is to say we don't really want to hard punish people's ratings by adding unnecessary OB on a hole that you should be able to convert. And just on today, particularly 75% of the field is going to convert that birdie on this hole based on the stats. But
which is, a good way to start your back 9. You know, if you break down your round to start off on a birdie on your last 9 holes, it feels good.
Yeah.
And you see he's got a pitch. It's not even a throw. He's a pitch.
And honestly, if he had been 15 feet to the right, he had a putt.
Right.
He just a little too far right, just couldn't quite get that angle that he wanted. And we have some tap-ins here for another star frame. I think this will be our 3rd or 4th star frame of the round, including front 9.
My question to you now, Zach, is when does Crew 42 get star frame donations?
Yeah, people should donate to me. You're right.
Just kidding.
One day, when we're big and famous for real.
It's coming. We appreciate everything that you do for the Michigan Disc Golf community.
We appreciate it. Patrick here, he's got a tap in. One thing I can't stress enough is I've watched a lot of players recently is just regardless of the distance. We watched it in River City Open with Chris Dickerson. Didn't matter if he was 5 feet, 20 feet, 80 feet. He's going to go through the same routine every single time, regardless if it feels like he needs to or not. It's just so important to do that because you stay consistent in the moments that are most pressure and even the moments that there's no pressure at all.
And we are coming down to the final stretch, so each putt is that important.
It's super important. Hole 11, par 3, 424 feet. Honestly, what I thought would play as the most difficult hole on the course today, just in my opinion, and stats actually back it up. It's the only hole that plays over par because that little stretch in front of it is all OB and the road on the right is OB.
And that stretch of, you'll see a little rock garden, like, is right in the landing zone if you don't fully commit to a shot.
Absolutely.
So you're going to see, hopefully none of these guys do it, but I imagine it happened quite a bit on this day.
This is a tricky distance too. If you throw it too high, you can't really throw it high. The lime trees on the right side don't let you throw hyzer, right? You have to kind of throw it right at the pin. And this distance is very tricky to carry a disc sub 40 feet in the air and also right at the pin. It's just really interesting. I really like this hole a lot.
Me too, and that is a great shot from Noah.
Yeah, I just couldn't be better.
Putting the pressure on Nate. You know, these guys are racing to the finish, and him having the tee box to put that pressure on just makes that next shot for Nate that much more intimidating.
Yeah, birdie here would definitely be come catch me.
Definitely.
That'd be a big statement here.
For sure. He's ripping. You can see he fully kind of committed to that shot just to try to get it over that OB pit, but he played it safe to the left side, which if you don't feel comfortable throwing 424 on a rope, you're going to see a lot of common misses to the left.
Yep. You're like, I think you threw it a little too hyzer too. I think you wanted to flip that over a little bit and just left it too much hyzer, but like he is planning the miss to be on the left side, which is the safe miss to have.
Big shot from Nate.
This is a cloud breaker. He's definitely trying to, I think, manipulate this over.
He just doesn't.
Just never got the energy to turn it over. He's
almost short. A miss throw for sure.
Yeah.
At this point, when you're down to the last 8 holes.
Definitely not giving himself a look here, which is definitely. I mean, this is just making Noah's shot even more impressive
for
here.
Sure. And Noah's now can walk casually to his disc, feeling comfortable. Like I have a putt.
The only thing I'll have to say about this hole that I hate more than anything else is there's a couple like sagging spots there. There's just like little pivots, and I didn't know that going in there. So I'm walking around with my camera, and I stepped in a hole, really badly rolled my ankle, which is not a thing you want to do while you're recording or playing. So that's the only thing I didn't like about the hole, but the hole itself structurally is really beautiful, and I like it a lot.
Good bid from John.
Yep.
Patrick from 60.
Yeah, this is big tester. We've seen him make a deep one before, and he's got such a
interesting jump spin.
Yeah, he does. It's so much spin, but he's definitely jumping. It's an interesting look here.
Huge putt from Noah.
Yeah, this is big.
2 looks from about the circle's edge. And he knew exactly what that putt was.
He knew what that statement was. Noah and Nate are both actively checking PDGA.
Oh, I imagine.
The whole time, because we did PDGA Live. Patrick and John are not. Patrick and John are just playing to play.
You'll see them, I mean, I don't know exactly what happens, but a lot less mental thoughts, so you might see these guys sneak up. Yeah. They don't have that pressure of knowing that they're in first or one behind. They're just playing their game. Yeah,
later in the round, because I can't check it either, they start coming up to me like, do you know what's going on? I'm like, I don't know. Hole 12 here, par 3, 292 feet. This one's definitely downhill a little bit of teeth with the OB on the right side there. You can find some forehands, kind of get big skips over into that direction, which you could lose a stroke, but really just about distance control, get past this guardian tree on the right that the drone is next to right now. You'll see a lot of people throw the forehand here.
At 290 feet. I'd imagine the forehand is wide open.
It's 270 probably with the hill.
Yeah, for sure.
It is definitely downhill.
He's holding it, so he likes it. Let's just skip in.
Yeah,
he's a happy man. Again, putting the pressure right on Nate.
Yeah, and that's so pivotal if you're thinking about like competitive mojo here. Like Noah, who lost an opportunity. A lot of people kind of get rattled and they get in their own head and then don't give themselves an opportunity in the next hole. Noah's putting his foot right back on the gas pedal, puts himself within circle 1, easy tap in range, is saying, I'm not going anywhere.
Right.
I'm setting the pace.
He knows how important having the tee box is right now.
Yeah.
You see Patrick Burke kind of hit that guardian tree, but I believe he still circles the edge. He's going to have a putt for his birdie. You got Nate, big shot going with the forehand, holding it as well, so I'm assuming he's watching this go right.
And the wind kind of gets this one. It is pushing in that direction, and a little fortunate that didn't get a bigger skip and go to OB. He's going to have a
circle's edge still, maybe possibly on the green.
He's outside for sure. I think it's 38-ish feet.
Okay. Patrick Burke, I haven't seen him throw a forehand yet.
With that handy trusty destroyer, we got it back in his hands.
I am stoked to see this. Watch this skip right towards the basket. Ooh, kind of got caught by the grass, but still circle's edge. I'm going to give him a look. Big putt from Nate.
This is huge. He's down by 1. I mean, we're in the back 9. He can't lose any more strokes. No, and he back to back. You can see these guys are really competing here.
Definitely.
And I will tell you this: Nate came in today. He and I chatted a little bit between rounds. I think him and Noah had competed and gone 1-2 at 6 events. I think he said, where Noah's gotten it from him each time. So Nate's really motivated to not lose to him by another stroke, by 1 stroke.
Noah's possibly has his number /
This has been a great year for Noah. He's bumped his rating up this year by double digits, I'm pretty sure, and he's kind of had a lot of wins this year. He's been really kind of crushing it over there on the east side of the state.
And most of the east siders already know who Nate is.
Yep.
A fierce competitor / just the true road warrior of Michigan.
He is.
Hole 13. This is probably the shortest hole on the course, but yet doesn't mean you get your birdie. It's guarded on both sides with pine trees. You'll see most people probably throwing a straight putter, possibly a thumber if you have it. It kind of puts it over. That's typically what I will go after, but I hate to say must get, but this rate, this is a must get.
This is for everyone on this card currently with Noah up by 2. This is a have to get it or you're in trouble.
Yep, and he again kind of holding that finish. Needed to go right. That's gonna be Circle's Edge. That's a knee knocker.
Yep. He's gonna have a little bit of tester there for sure. Everyone else kind of with an opportunity to kind of get it close. Guaranteed they're not losing a stroke.
A banger.
Yes, this is his putting banger.
Is Michael Johansson in
GT?
Michigan? Nice, great shot. Still a knee knocker at this point in the round though.
Yeah.
He's 26 feet probably. Patrick Burke looks like he's lining up a hyzer.
We all started freaking out here too because you can kind of see it in the camera. A little bit of raindrops starting to fall.
Oh.
And so everyone was like, "Oh no, it's starting to come back." Some of them didn't bring their umbrellas because this has got to slow down.
It's a common miss if you throw that hyzer line with a faster disc, because you're gonna kind of skip past the pin.
Yeah.
When the putter's gonna sit right by the pin. Nate's even throwing his putting wizard.
Yeah. His next slowest disc is a Buzz OS. Tink. He's 6 inches short from an ace.
Tink. At this point, can you imagine if that went in?
Oh my goodness. It was just one day.
Big putt, 28 feet. And he feeling that is a big miss because we know that Nate just tinked off the basket.
And Noah, who was super solid with his putting through front 9.
You can tell he's kind of getting nervous.
Yeah, he's kind of
maybe
feeling
not nervous,
precious.
but feeling the pressure.
Yep.
And that is a huge putt from about 33 feet.
Yeah, just I think he was just inside circle. I think he was right inside of it, but it was definitely a circle's edge.
Going with his banger.
And this is another big putt for 2. Getting 1 back. Yep. And now we have
a race.
Yeah, this is everything just changed from this hole.
This on a 190-foot hole. Now the race is that much tighter.
This hole actually does not play as the easiest hole in the day. It plays as the second easiest, I believe. Yes, it does play as the second easiest hole in the day.
The first one was one of the easier par 4s.
It was hole 4. Yep. One of that par 4 was just the easiest as we head into hole 14, which may be one of the most difficult greens to play on today.
Definitely.
306 feet, but it's on this really steep hill. Luckily, the grass is not super long here today, super short, which means rollaways are a little harder to get, but definitely the angle here, anything could happen.
You're going to see a lot of forehands into the hillside and just wait. You can't see, but you're going to see a common pattern of a disc kind of standing up and slightly rolling down the hill.
Never would have guessed this.
I would have never guessed backhand, because if you saw it off, you're going to go down the hill further than you'd like.
He has so much trust here. Now, unfortunately, the catch cam, we had a problem with it for this particular hole. We got it fixed during the hole, but there's no catch cam here. He actually hit the top of the hill and used it to scoot down.
He's in the green.
He is on the green. He's probably 20 feet away. John did not turn over that destroyer. You can see he's just kind of disgusted with his own shot. He's like...
And you don't want the putt on the top of the hill. You really want that forehand to check into the hillside and have an uphill putt. This is crazy to me that everyone's kind of going with the hyzers.
Yeah, I think honestly...
Is that bush too high on the left?
That could be part of it. That one took a big skip. It's down at the bottom of the hill now. I think the big thing for this is...
the rolls.
Yeah, I think... Yeah. I think Nate specifically is not throwing a forehand because I don't think he brought his full bag.
This looks great.
I think he had a game plan of throwing that backhand with the Buzz OS and was hoping not to get a big skip and just got one instead.
This is a scary putt.
This is terrifying. You're just trying to keep it close.
He's laying up.
Yep. As soon as he putts it, he's running to see where it goes. And
he's happy.
Yeah.
A couple of close.
Yes. That thing is the arrow to the next basket.
So Noah's parked. A putt from Nate, again, to keep pace with Noah.
Noah ended up moving That's not Noah's disc.
Oh, that looks like a...
That's the arrow. Yep.
Okay, so he's still Circle's Edge on top of the hill.
So he can get back up by 2 on at least Nate. Patrick is somewhere in circle up the hill on the right side there, so he can keep it close.
He needs to find that clutch putt.
Yeah, he needs to. He's been out of his groove the last couple holes. He just needs to bang one.
And a skip.
That is a scary putt, though, that downhill one.
At least he can go uphill. Yeah, for sure, uphill. He's going to be more comfortable with this, but we still need him to lock down that clutch putt.
Yeah, he's just giving him opportunities.
And that snuck in 7th spot. So you can kind of see that the pressures with all these athletes.
Yeah. Patrick's here can tie it up.
I know. And he had a great backhand. I can promise you will not see that extremely often.
Yeah, that's rare. He just kept it so close to the hill, and oh no.
Now, is that pressure?
I don't think that's pressure.
You think that's just a missed putt?
Yeah, and honestly, I think if you were seeing it from Hobie's angle, who's right behind it, honestly, the outside of his disc was matching the last chain on the right. I think they just had a harder push out than with
most,
how.
Sure. You're not saying spit out. It's
No.
still a missed putt.
No, it was a miss, but he gave it, I think, too much power for that particular spot.
Hole 15.
Island, baby.
We have an island hole at 211 feet. It's tough to see the whole island from the tee box. You're slightly going uphill. You need to crash down between these 4 beautiful fall Michigan trees. And you, again, at this point in the race, is a very close to a musket. Yes, there's not much in the way.
Anything can happen. I will say, we'll see if it happens on this card or not. There is a double bogey on this hole. We know from the records at PGA Live.
Double bogey.
There is a double bogey. Because the drop zone, which is inside the circle, still putts at a death putt with a OB behind it.
But again, he's in the spot where he's happy. He's 25 feet on the right side pin high.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say 25. I think he's 20.
This looks like a drone, which is a great frisbee.
Yep.
If you've ever thrown one. Overstable mid with a good amount of glide, and he's spiking it right towards the pin.
Yep. Smart play.
Yep.
That's a well-executed shot.
Definitely.
And for John not necessarily being aware of his situation, he is doing a really nice job of just continuing to grind and continuing to try to execute his game plan.
And Nate's going back to that wizard. The adrenaline's kicking. Good tree kick. He looks
he's
semi-blocked behind that. But, yeah.
Yeah.
There's 4 guardian trees. That's it on the island. The island is relatively big in sense of island holes.
Yep.
But those island trees, we'll say, if we're going to Panama or somewhere nice, will block the pin.
That front right one is really into play.
Mm-hmm.
The other 3 are a little less
Steep
into play.
spike from Noah, and he looks like he is happy, man.
Yep.
So pressure is still on Nate. I feel like the pressure's been on Nate for most of this back 9.
And Patrick a little bit here. They both have some testers here. Nate having to go use that big frame of his.
The Annie putt.
Bang.
He loves it. That is a experienced putt, and if anyone who knows Nate is one of the most highly experienced athletes in our area. When it comes to the amount of events he's played, the amount of disc golf in his life, he's been nearly every spot you can be.
And in case I gave you a little too much anxiety thinking that there's be a double bogey on this card, there's not.
Okay, thank you. My heart was pumping. Good putt from Noah just to match again, holding that 1-stroke lead after 15, 3 holes left.
Yeah, and on a course like this, it's all about execution for Noah. Can he continue to execute, convert his birdies on every hole? Really, the only hole that they shouldn't be able to birdie on
17, right?
18.
18.
I would say 18.
I remember these last 3 holes. I mean, are still. This one, not so much. It's a big forehand. You'll see, or you can spike it over the road if you'd like as well.
Yep.
At 254 feet, that row of pine trees is in the middle of the fairway.
Yep.
So you either go big forehand thumber to the left side of those pines,
or
you put a backhand over the road. I'm not exactly sure what these athletes are going to do, but each is a complimentary shot.
I never would have guessed the backhand on the right side here, and so Patrick lined up, and I'm like, what are you doing?
It's
and
there.
Realized it was there. This is a change I would almost...
OB, you got
Mando
no,
on that tree that he threw the right of. I want there to be a Mando.
You should demand a turnover forehand. Otherwise, it is at 254 feet.
Yep.
You're gonna
I don't mind the thumber because if you make that tree on the right side, the Mando, you can just.
Is he throwing thumber right now?
Yep.
Yeah.
So John, I did not know this was in John's repertoire.
I did not
at all. These guys were literally just lining stuff up. I'm like, what is happening?
And I have not seen this, but I mentioned it. It is a shot at 254 feet. There's nothing in the way if you can toss it over, and that is
2 for 2.
Ideal, yeah, for sure. And again, we're coming down to the bottom of this race. These are holes these athletes want. Nate's going Buzz West, I'm assuming.
I know the opinion of making a Mando is unpopular from people too, because a lot of people did not give me very good feedback when I said that to them. But I think I think considering the shape of the hole, what you're supposed to play it as,
right,
that should be in consideration for this particular And of course, you can always say you just let it wait because in 10 years, those pine trees are so big you can't throw that shot anymore, right?
But the course designer did not expect you to go big hyzer over the road. He wanted to turn over at 250.
He wanted this right here.
Right. Now each athlete has a circle's edge putt, it seems, if not a little bit closer.
Yep, just inside.
But Noah's just inside of Nate, so the pressure continuously goes back to Nate.
You just got it. They both can't be
phased.
phased.
That's what I'm saying. So he put the pressure on.
And it's hard to forget because they shot so well at the other course that Patrick and John are still right there on their heels.
They're probably, I mean, in a way, like, not to put these other athletes out of the equation, but they're focusing on each other with the rivalry they have and the stats that you had on that. They're kind of just like, what's Nate doing? What's Noah doing? But you see Patrick Burke sneaking. He's in the same spot.
Yep.
Both of them are. And that is disgusting, and he knows it.
That's his fourth miss on this back nine. If he converts half of them, he still has his two-stroke lead.
Two-stroke. That's what I'm saying. So
we're going into the last two holes, and
square.
as long as Patrick converts this, we have 3 guys tied up, and they just checked with PDGA. And
John too. Well,
no, John tapped in his birdie already.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's down by 1. But I'm saying like there's a 3-way tie for first right now.
And these last 2 holes are challenging.
These last 2 holes you can't miss on them. 18's a little more challenging than this one, which is this is a very big hole.
Big, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, this is an enormous hole.
Close to par.
Yeah, this is a par 4, 744 feet.
Par 4.
Yeah, this is an enormous shot, but again, there's only OB on the left side for the road there. No real OB on the right side unless you really shank something over and it glides for days.
But the tee shot demands there's a tree in the middle, or there's 2 tight trees. I got to remember. The tree in the middle, it's still, you need to execute. You can't just throw as hard as you want. You need to put a drive out there.
Yep, and it needs to get over this tree line. If you wanted to play the safest, you throw a spike hyzer over the right trees,
but
right?
Then your shot to the pin is longer.
Yeah, then you have this 500, potentially a 500 footer after that. And this was an early release immediately out of his hand, and he knew it wasn't good, and it headed straight into the OB.
Nerves, possibly?
I don't know about nerves, but definitely just not what he wasn't expecting any of that.
Big shot from John. Now he can see that he can catch Patrick. Not that trusty destroyer, but he is ripping, and that's turning. These are the trees. They're guardian trees. This is the difference of this par 4 than the rest of them is you can't just crush and the disc is going to go. You need to put it out there.
Yeah, he actually just landed underneath that pine tree.
Yep.
He's going to have a tough location from that spot. Nate just smashing his Cloudbreaker too.
Just going so far.
Yeah, and this started going right, and we all asked, like, is he getting kind of close to that OB? And still, even as much as turned over that was, he probably traveled 200 feet, right? He's still 100 feet short of that OB.
Boom. That shows a statement to Noah, Pressure is back to him. With a missed putt on the previous hole, he knows he has to get off this tee box. And he looked like
This is pure.
That is the line.
Pure.
If you picture this hole and you were to place it where you want, that is it. Because again, if it was tougher, if the OBs would be pinching each side, you'd have a rope line or flags on each side. That is what the designer wanted you to do.
Yep. And I think the OB on the left is fair right now.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think the OB, not making the OB right is okay, especially considering this course is going to be windy. But, yeah, for sure, if you added some OB difficulty, I would say probably on the right side, Noah's shot couldn't be any more perfect.
Ideal. So now he needs to get up and down for his par.
Yeah,
which is crucial.
Yeah, he can't afford a bogey here because Noah and Nate are both in position to try to convert for birdie.
That trusty yellow disc, it kind of got a slight turn, but it always seems to stable out.
Yeah, he had definitely left that probably 15, 20 feet too high. He definitely wanted that a little lower to kind of give it that push, but that nose up kind of choked it up.
That drive hides it out super early to make that second shot long.
He would have had a circle 2 look if he had the proper height there. Just didn't quite travel.
John now thinking to attack, throwing that trusty destroyer, and he sounded up just a little bit, but that is a circle's edge putt.
Yep, that's a putt.
Mm-hmm. Big upshot from Noah. He's probably 200, I'd assume 250 feet.
Yeah, I'd say 250.
Overstable,
if
zone
not more.
maybe.
I'd say probably 250, 280. It was a smash from off the 500-foot smash for sure.
Yep, and that gets him in a good spot. Again, he's on the green, so ideal, but at a little bit further away than he wants to be. Nate going with that forehand. I imagine he's going to spike this right by the basket.
He's in the same
boat. Spot. Knee knockers on the 17th hole, but at least he gets to watch Noah go first.
Correct.
And at that point, he knew what he had to do.
So Patrick here just has to run it.
Right.
In order for him to stay. on the race here, and that's a great bid.
Good bid from that spot. He knows that he kind of dug himself a hole. Now John capitalized.
This is for par. So in order to tie Patrick, just leaves it a little too low. Just a little.
Getting nervous, guys.
Yeah, this is Noah here. Didn't deserve a second of that, and this is probably Nate has the worst screwed view of all time, and this might be the second now. I mean, hits literally perfect spot, immediately turns vertical, and you can see Nate in the background just
Disgusted.
like, are you kidding me? Like he wants to compete with Noah right now, but he doesn't want to win or get a stroke on him.
No, nobody
like
does.
this.
Nobody does.
That's awful.
Again, he looks closer than I expected. So this gives him a 1-stroke lead going into 18, which you can say he deserved, he doesn't deserve. I mean, either way, a stroke going to the last hole is crucial.
Yeah, Nate didn't want any part of that stroke being taken that way.
But now here's where the resilience needs to stand out for Noah. He knows, like, I didn't deserve that, but it's over. I need to be able to shake that off and somehow attack hole 18.
I think the worst part about it for me is that Noah's been struggling with his putt up to this point.
And that was his good putt.
And that was dead center.
Sure.
He was super confident, got himself back in a rhythm, and all of a sudden he got punished for it. So heading into hole 18, 411 feet, par 3. I think this one's a little more difficult. There's a lot more OB, as I forgot about the power lines as I flying the drone.
Mm-hmm.
And so you got to get, the road is OB. You got to get past that. Kind of plays as a peninsula. You kind of got to commit to this one.
At 400 feet, absolutely. And again, for a par 3, this is at 400 feet. It's not a guaranteed. So both these guys need to execute. This is to put the pressure on.
So Nate said going into this hole, because knowing how hard this hole is to birdie, he was playing it more as a conservative.
He lays up.
Yeah, I don't think it was. I wouldn't say he laid up, but he definitely was not trying to go deep, because if he goes too high, he's going to skip into the OB, which is why I didn't throw the cloud breaker.
And now the pressure's on Noah. He has to execute.
Yes, he has to throw a laser. I don't know what this disc is, but it's my favorite disc in the world, because this was incredible to watch.
That is so clutch.
And I think Noah can also admit, if they had both been tied, they both probably would have played a little more, or Noah would have played the same play, and Nate would have been more aggressive. Right. And Nate having that stroke, knowing how hard it is to convert this particular hole, I think he played a little conservatively and didn't quite get that power he needed.
You see Paul Macbeth mention often, to never stop attacking.
Yep.
Because it's kind of like the Lions playing prevent defense. It's preventing you from winning.
Yes.
So if even on a hole like this, I do think Nate should have attacked it.
Yeah, and I agree. I think he should have thrown the cloud breaker just to guarantee that distance on the line that he threw. Right. But I mean, he still has a circle 2 putt there.
And that's a comfort zone. He loves his jump putt.
Yep. John there also making it into that peninsula. Patrick here. This is just for positioning at this point, because there's no way that Nate and Noah are both going to take enough strokes here to lose one to Patrick. John also kind of doing the same thing. And a little fun note here. John... Well, let me wait for that. So, fun note. John and Patrick have now played the exact same round except for one hole.
He lays it.
He didn't try to lay that up.
I know, that was just, unfortunately, a scary... So the pressure's on him. He just had to spit out. He's close enough to feel comfortable. And we got extra holes.
We are going to have extra holes. He has, as much as the last hole hurts, because it feels like, I know some people will probably say, well, Noah should have won because of whatever. You have no idea what would have happened if they had gone into this hole tied at 19 down.
Right.
And you have no idea if they were tied how Nate decides to putt differently if he was in the same position. You never know any of those kind of variables, but the fact of the matter is that Nate and Noah, we love this golf.
This is exciting.
And we are now tied at 19 down, and we have extra holes.
Unbelievable.
So super excited to see here. So much green. A little unlucky both by Patrick and John on that hole 17. The only bogeys recorded between everyone, but lots of birdies here. Holy smokes. Good shooting from everyone. Thanks to our Patreon supporters as always. Stay tuned for the playoffs, because we have that next coming up, and we'll see you there.
So excited. Thank you guys for having me.